Same thing a lot of times right now. We're trying to get better every day in practice and every day in a game. And I think over the last few games and practices, we've done that. And tomorrow's game's the same idea. We're treating it because it is this game day in terms of shoot-arounds, scouting reports, preparation. We're doing everything the exact same. Hiawatha's played 4 Division I teams. We'll be the 4th team they play this year, so I don't think it's going to be anything where they're intimidated or it's something out of the usual ordinary for them. And so our attitude is approach it with the right mindset, very aggressively, and with the attitude that we need to get better.
One of those situations where, I mean, I know people are going to look at the opponent outside of the program and not take it too seriously, being honest, but do you think this is one of those things where, you know, this is kind of an opportunity for you to find out a little bit about your team's focus, knowing this is the last one before?
I think we can. Yeah, I think we can find out a ton about our team, about our focus, our ability to prepare in all different situations. With Christmas break around the corner, they're going to get away for a couple days. I think we're going to find out how they do on the scouting report and execute the things we talked to them about, how they share the basketball, and on the court. It's competition every single day, and who plays well and does the things we ask them to do.
Is that something you're confident in with your guys, taking every opponent seriously no matter what level?
Yeah, I have a great deal of confidence, but they also have to earn that confidence and prove that every time we go out there. And I think they have to treat this game with a great deal of respect. We've used the phrase, respect everybody, fear nobody. And this is a game that we have to come in and have a great deal of respect for our opponent and prepare the proper way. And again, our goals are season long, and our goal is to be playing the best at the end of the season. To be able to do that, you have to take each step along the way and do your best.
You're 8-3. Is it fair? Maybe I'm the only one looking at it where there are 2 games of those 3 you lost that were extremely close. You could have had. Is it as a coach? Do you ever look at that and go, "Gosh, we could be 10-1"? Do you look back at that?
To a certain extent, but that can also drive you crazy. And we've won some games that were close games, and I tend to have a short memory, and anything I do focus on seems to be forward thinking rather than the past. I think we have improved from game 1 to where we are right now, and that's the biggest thing I'm focused on. Are the guys bought in? Are the guys improving every day? And I really do think we're doing that.
How much do you pay attention to non-conference, the conference opponents and their non-conference schedule? Do you pay attention to that?
Yeah, I'm definitely aware of what other conference teams are doing, who they're playing, how they're doing in those games, cheering for our conference to do well, because I think in the end of the day that helps our conference as everybody plays good competition and does well in those games. So I'm very aware of it. Now, if you get into the details of a conference opponents, I wouldn't know much about them unless there were just some things from last year. But certainly I've kept in touch with what other teams in the conference are doing, what games they're playing, and how they're doing.
Just not knowing specifics, how do you think they're performing against some of those teams? I mean, overall, the strength of the league.
Yeah,
early.
Yeah, it is early. There's been some big wins within the conference. I think the top tier of the conference, I think, is performing at a high level. And with 14 teams, any conference that has 14 teams, you're going to have a wide variety of coaches, wide variety of style of play, wide variety of success. And I think that's what you're going to see with Conference USA as well. I am optimistic that it's going to be a good league. Everybody will finish non-conference well. And then anytime you get into conference play, the level of scouting, the level of competitions just seems to rise.
Defensively for you guys, when you have 2 blocks, especially 2 shot blockers that are proven and as good as those guys have been, how much more can you do defensively when you have sort of kind of a safety net at times back there?
Yeah, the positive is that the post players, especially Tosa and HaHa, have the ability to erase mistakes. If somebody gambles a little bit or gets beat on a drive, they're there to save that. A little bit of the negative side of that is it puts people out of position. So the next emphasis with our guys is getting 5 guys back in and rebounding and hitting people and boxing out. We've made some strides there, but I think there's a big jump we still have to make.
With the shot blocking with those 2 guys, especially with those 2 guys, how much of that is just natural instinct and ability, and how much, can you teach shot blocking?
Most of it, the vast majority, is instincts. And then it's the freedom from the coaches to go and do it. We definitely encourage them to do it. I know there's some coaches that say, hey, just wall, make them score over the middle of your body. One reason we recruited Tosin and HaHa both is because their ability to block shots. And I think we certainly give them the freedom to go chase shots that a lot of coaches would say don't go after those. But I think a lot of times, even if they get 3-4 shots or block shots a game, there's at least 3, 4, 5, 6 that they're changing as well and probably making the guys miss. And so those are the ones we need to make sure we get everybody else back there and rebound those. But again, we want the guys to go after the block shots and change people's interior game plan.
Are there ever times where they do it too much, where you have to say, settle down a little bit?
A little bit, but right now I want to err on the side of aggression, going after things, and then it's easier to tone that back as opposed to just telling them to, hey, just pick your spots. I want them, again, to err on the side of being more aggressive.
It's a big game in Birmingham tonight. I know you guys aren't playing in it down the road. Just your thoughts on Alabama playing in your literal backyard tonight.
I think it's anytime there's high-level basketball in the state, I think it's good for high school kids in the state to see high-level basketball. I think it's I know there's unbelievable football in the state. I know there's a great deal of passion for football in the state. Anything we can do to raise the profile of basketball within the state is a positive thing. I do think one of my clear goals personally for this program is to find a way to elevate the level of play, the schedule, the quality of our opponents, everything we do, to get to the point where fans come out to see UAB basketball just because they want to see the show. They want to see the game day excitement. They want to see high-level basketball, and that we turn UAB basketball brand into something special that many, 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 many thousands of people come and see UAB basketball games because they want to see UAB basketball. And that's it's one of my goals that in the long term I want to try and get done, and I know it'll be a challenge, but I also think it's possible.
I know you've been at the podium before, being mentioned about Alabama and scheduling. Anything at all remotely there?
No, we haven't got a call back yet. I think as time goes on, we'll continue to explore options there. But I think we need to be tactful in how we do it. But I'm certainly open to that idea.
With you guys right now, as deep as you've been, as you are, and the minutes, guys hadn't had to play as much minutes as they have in the past. Have you seen it has helped keep you guys a little fresher at this point than maybe last year or other years where you had guys who had to play 35-minute type games?
Yeah, I think the minute-wise, there's certainly not a concern on my part about keeping the guys fresh at this point. Partly because the minutes are down in the games, partly about how we go about preparing them in the off season and how we go through our preseason conditioning, preseason practices. A lot of the things that we do is geared towards trying to get the team to continually improve and play our best late in the year. So maybe this year more than others, I'm even less concerned about that. But I do think that the workload for the guys could even increase, and they could handle it pretty well.
Yeah, just both ends of the floor. Offense is flowing, and we're locking people down on the defensive end, and it's turned out good for us.
I mean, I know you're 8-3, but do you look back at 2 of the 3 games you lost and go, it could be 10-1?
Yeah.
Do you allow yourself to go there at all?
I mean, definitely, but at the same time, we're just focusing, moving forward. I'm trying to close out tomorrow night and have a good Christmas break, and then we'll start Stephen F. Austin, then conference.
Is it one of those things where this might be a good test for you guys about focus? I mean, I know the opponent might not, be that highly thought of outside of the building, but is it one of those things where this is going to test your focus a little bit, knowing you have some days off coming up?
Yeah, I know everybody's excited to get home. A lot of guys are leaving early the next morning, but we got to finish business tomorrow night and come ready, focused, and I'm sure we will. All of us are ready and excited about tomorrow night.
For you, you moved toward the top in the country of the assist to turnover ratio. As a point guard, is that often the truest sense of how you're playing as a point guard? That stat itself.
I think it shows just how, Hawk had 6-0 the other night. Just how fluent our offense is going right now. Just so happens the wide open shot is coming from my pass lately, but it could be anyone. We're all sharing the ball. And then we're all knocking down shots.
When you're sharing the ball like that, you can tell with with the assist, they're coming from everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Haha had 5. I think in the first game last week. How much Is that an indication just how well the offense is running right now?
Yeah, and we've been working on it since day one, getting the best shot, turn down good shots for great shots, and we're finally clicking, and everybody is very confident in their shot, and when they pass it, the next guy's going to step up and hit it.
Defensively for you, when you guys have, especially Tosin and the way they're blocking shots and just kind of how natural they are at blocking shots, how much does that help everybody else defensively when you have two guys back there like that?
It helps a lot. You know, we always try to guard our yard, but every now and then we get blow-bys, but, you know, Tosin, Chris, and HaHa are there to clean it up, and we just usually say thank you and then go on our way.
What goes through your head when you see them, especially you get one of the spectacular blocks that they have? I mean, kind of what goes through your head as a teammate when you see that?
Just joy, smiles. You know, the film the next day won't be as bad because they didn't get a layup out of it, but just sometimes it's shocking how they get up there. Sometimes you just say, wow. But, you know, that's a big part of their game, and we trust them and know they have our backs at all times.
How often have you been a victim of that in practice and pickup games?
Every now and then they'll get me. I try to shoot it or pull up before I get in all the way in there, but yeah, they've got me a few times.